Hello and welcome to Business Morning. It's another trading day, but it's the TGIF trading day right here in the nation's capital. Here are the stories you should be looking at this point. We're seeing oil prices, they've eased today, heading for a third consecutive monthly decline as a stronger US dollar, weak China data, cap gains while rising supply from major producers globally. That offset the impact of Western sanctions on Russian exports. And we're seeing Brent there holding out $64.70 a barrel. I guess at this rate, WTI might end the week still in that $60 range. But we'll see if things change. 0.54% down. That's for the early trade today. We'll keep our eyes on what's playing out there. But let's get a check now on our local bourse. We see that we did close lower yesterday, but despite the downturn there, we did see more trading there with that's deals. That was in the green, but we see 0.38% down. That's for yesterday's trade, closing at 153,676 points. Let's look at other parts there. We see volume value deals all in the green, 28,944 deals, and 795 million units of stocks traded, valued at 35.11 billion naira, and definitely we see investors there. Even though we saw some sell pressure, Oando did come out as tops there for the gainers shot 9.99%, 46 naira 80 kobo. And still talking about Oando, we got their results yesterday, Q3 results, return to profitability in the third quarter of 2025. We see, that's for Oando. Revenue 820 billion, 29.2% down. Cost of sales, that's also down 26.7%, according to data there from the NGX. Gross profit down by 52%, 53.82 billion naira. Other operating income 1.1 billion, down about 61.1%. Operating profit 48.98 billion at 25.3%. That's for Oando there. And also we see that was lower than the 31.1 billion. That's the profit before tax at 19.4 billion naira. Let's flip over to Aradel. Now let's see what's happening with Aradel. Holdings for the third quarter of 2025, revenue 538.8 billion naira, up 43%. EBITDA, that's 261.4 billion, up about 10% from the previous quarter in 2024. Operating profit down 1%. Pre-tax profit 300.7 billion, up 57%. Post-tax profit 245.1 billion, 122%. That's for the unaudited results there for Aradel Holdings. And definitely we know investors like to look at what's playing out with these earnings to know how to trade, the earnings so far. So definitely Aradel was down yesterday, but Oando, that was up yesterday to close. All right, let's look at the financial services now. Zenith Bank, they also released their Q3 earnings, and we see gross earnings there 3.37 trillion, up 16% compared to the previous quarter. They posted strong earnings performance for that quarter. Net interest income up about 50.4%. Non-interest revenue 18.4% up. Operating profit 1.31 trillion naira, up 15.2%. We see profit before income tax 917.4 billion naira, up down 8.5%. So definitely we're still going to drill down on most of these earnings with analysts to see which is bullish and which is bearish, at this point, because definitely we know some of these companies like to give a forecast of what to expect, for their earnings. But if it doesn't meet expectations, definitely sometimes they get punished, by investors. So that's the latest one there for the big bank there, Zenith Bank. All right, to other matters now. We still have Unilever. Let's look at Unilever. Yeah, revenue. That was up 43.5%, 57.31 billion Q3 2025 earnings. Cost of sales, that rose about 52.4%, 35.46 billion naira. Gross profit, 31.1% up. Operating profit at 11.65 billion naira, 74.5% up there. Profit after tax, that's up 15.3%. I guess that's bullish, 7.58 billion naira. Earnings per share, 1.32 kobo, up 15.7%. So that's a story right there for the consumer goods, a big boy there. Unilever Nigeria PLC definitely goes to show what's been playing out with most of the commodities there. That's for consumer goods. We know that they had issues before now when it came to FX losses, but that has kind of switched, so far in 2025. We'll keep watching out for those earnings. More are still out there, and are still expecting some more, definitely, and the markets will react to all of that. All right, so some company news now. I'll see cable manufacturing company Coleman. That's Coleman technical manufacturing company. They officially commissioned their second fiber optic factory in Shagamu, Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, tagged as Africa's largest fiber optic cable manufacturing factory and the continent's first fiber reinforced plastic production factory. The multi-billion-naira ultra-modern facility is expected to boost local content production, reduce Nigeria's reliance on imported fiber cables, and position the country as a regional hub for telecommunications and power infrastructure and manufacturing. Of details in this report. Take a listen.
A new era for digital connectivity has now arrived in Nigeria and Africa as Coleman Technical Industries Limited, makers of renowned Coleman wires and cables, officially commissions its second multi-billion-naira fiber optic factory in Shagamu area of Ogun State. The high-profile event drew top government officials, captains of industries, traditional rulers, and other top dignitaries to also witness the celebration of its 50th anniversary.
It is truly a pleasure to join you all.
In their remarks, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Jumoke Oduole, and the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, commended the company's role in boosting local production capacity and driving Nigeria's industrial and digital transformation.
This factory, the largest of its kind in Africa, signals more than cables and conduits. It represents the lifeline of Nigeria's digital economy. It symbolizes the arteries through which data, opportunity, and innovation will flow across our nation.
To be able to deploy that fiber, we will need to train a lot of young people. And we're already talking to Coleman and the American partner, Coleman, to see how we can actually bring 5,000 young people from all over the country.
The invited guests had a chance to witness the commissioning of what is now one of the largest fiber optic facilities in West Africa. Speaking at the event, the managing director, Mr. George Onofowoko, reaffirmed the company's vision to position Nigeria as a regional hub for industrial technology and export.
Now that we've achieved scale, which has basically become the biggest cable company in terms of fiber optics in Africa, the next scale is to actually do a draw tower. The draw tower is to be able to produce the fiber in country, and that's where our next case. It's over $100 million initial investment.
This single largest manufacturing facility for fiber optic cable infrastructure would totally transform our digital economy. By the establishment of this, we have added an additional 9 million linear kilometers of fiber cable manufacturing capacity, and that's to an existing 3 million linear kilometers that's already existing.
With the commissioning of this second fiber optic factory, Coleman Technical Industries Limited reinforces its position as a key player in Nigeria's industrial revolution, setting new standards for local manufacturing and global competitiveness.
And also see the NEPAD Business Group Nigeria, they've urged Nigerian businesses to build stronger capacities and actively engage in the African Continental Free Trade Area framework, emphasizing that the private sector remains the engine of Africa's transformation. Participants at the high-level event yesterday were of the view that unlocking the continent's full economic potential hinges on unlocking intra-Africa trade, strengthening industrial capacity, and enabling value chain growth under the AFCFTA. Take a listen.
NEPAD Business Group is holding what it terms a high-level business forum on mobilizing the private sector for Africa's economic growth and development. At a time when conversations on AfCFTA is rife, the group seeks to explore the over 1.4 billion market and integrating the different areas of comparative advantage of Africans.
If Africa's economy could be fully integrated rapidly, he explained that the resultant connectivity and other benefits will enable African entrepreneurs to produce more competitively at scale, boost inter-African trade, and increase Africa's contribution to global trade beyond the current paltry 3%.
Please, let's put a hand.
Preparing steps beyond the talks, members of the group call startups to take advantage.
Here in NEPAD Business Group, we have decided to reach out to entrepreneurs, investors, and startups. It's going to be our main focus the next 1 year.
Lagos State is working with the group in making the target of AfCFTA a reality.
So in order to make after work in Africa in these uncertain times, we must focus on a few key solutions. Empowering small and medium enterprises, SMEs. They are the heartbeat of Africa's private sector. They create jobs and sustain communities.
China is
The meeting concentrates most of the proposed solutions in the panel sessions.
out what they read in the classroom. But we had people talk from experience, and that is what we need. If we are supposed to achieve the objectives of the African Union's Agenda 2063, which includes growing our GDP.
Imagine that we have a map of the things that we can trade on in Nigeria. That immediately tells you the growth trajectory. It educates you. It makes you to know that here we are, we trade with ourselves. We also have capacity to standardize these things. I say this to say that let's have standard at home first.
NEPAD Business Group Nigeria continues its advocate for public-private partnership as the panacea for addressing Africa's infrastructural deficit, among other challenges.
All right, now let's focus on a story of grit, innovation, and growth, and how female-owned small and medium enterprises are not just surviving, but thriving in Nigeria's ever-changing economy. Now, the story is still high, but downward-facing inflation, currency stability, although with some level of tough business conditions here. Many women entrepreneurs are breaking barriers, breaking jobs, creating jobs, and driving innovation. Well, join us now to unpack this. We have Dr. Yvonne Afodile. She's the MD CEO, Zenith Oil and Gas Limited, joining me right here in the studio. It's great to have you. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
How do you pronounce Zetile?
Zetile.
Zetile.
Yes.
Zetile Oil and Gas. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. So, definitely if it was maybe about a year or two ago, the story was different. Inflation was really high. The business environment was quite tough. Even though we're seeing some stability, right now with the Naira, inflation is on its way down. How would you describe business right now? Are you feeling it differently from years back?
Well, less intense. Less intense is definitely better than how it was about a year ago. The challenges still exist. It's not gone. SMEs are still having to, fight their way across scaling and even maintaining stability in the current operations that they run, same as myself. So it's less intense. I think we are progressing, but we still have a long way to go.
Right.
Yes.
And how would you say, what would you say SMEs have learned from, how more intense it was, that's the business environment, What have they brought into this business environment that's, helping them thrive more, especially for, women-led businesses?
I think number one is the resilient spirit that we all carry, right? I mean, one thing that I have found, and following through what happened last year and the last seasons and what's currently happening, is that you find a lot of SMEs and MSMEs truly fighting for their vision and fighting to ensure that their dreams don't die, right? So it's a resilient spirit that Nigerians carry in delivering their businesses, and that's still what is still carrying us through. With the resilient spirit and the hope of a better Nigeria, a better environment to work, a better environment to deal, better policies that enables business owners to do business, operate and do business well, and then scale, then possibly export their products. So one key take up for me would be the resilient spirit that we all carry. Sincerely, a lot of businesses have had to fight their way through to now because of the deep passion they have for the things that they do, not because of the profit they make. It's not, people had to move, especially MSMEs and SMEs, had to move from profit-mindedness to survival, ensuring that they first of all survive the season. Then as we go, we then begin to re-strategize and, work our way through ensuring that we continue to make profit for the business.
Right, and you did mention, passion.
Yes.
The reason for, some of these people going into opening some of these small businesses. But I've heard that the reason why we have so many small businesses right now and, people trying to be entrepreneurs is because there are no jobs at this point. Like, that's the main catalyst.
Yes, we find that a lot of people, I think there are jobs actually. The jobs are not adequate, but then you also find people not being employable, right? So the scale is always tilting to every side. Like, there are no jobs. When there are jobs, people are unemployable, and then people because people don't have the jobs that they desire, then they decide, okay, I'm passionate about interior designing. Okay, let me start doing the business of interior designing. So all the conversations are encompassed, like they are all encompassing, different reasons. People do different things for different reasons. But what I find also is that for most of people that have actually gone into doing businesses is really because of the desire to provide solutions to things that they're truly passionate about. It's not easy anyway, either as an employee or as an employer in this volatile economy, right? It's not easy whether you want to. It's not an escape route. Entrepreneurship is not an escape route to surviving the economy we currently live in. I mean, so you would need your passion to sustain you there. So I think that even though you have people taking up businesses because they don't have jobs, but I find that they still discover themselves even in the process of taking up those businesses, and then they begin to now find ways to ensure that they thrive in doing the businesses that they do. So yeah.
I guess some people just, go into it, like, okay, I need to find something to do, and somehow it becomes something great.
Yes. Yes, there is that.
Depending on how they go about it.
Yes, depending on how the business lessons they come in with it, how prepared they are, if they even have the finance to truly, carry them into the terrain and sustain them with the businesses that they've decided to do.
And talking about finance, access to credit, that's another big headache, for businesses. But we got the first rate cut this time from the MPC, cutting rates. I'm wondering if we're starting to feel that when some of these small businesses go to the banks trying to get credit.
Well, as far as I know, I think that the numbers are still not favoring the SMEs, right? The numbers are still not aggregated. People are still, especially women in business, which is what I'm deeply passionate about. You'll find that 7 out of 10 women still lack access to business funds to truly scale their businesses. I was reading a report last week, and I found that the World Bank reports that $300 billion is what is the financial gap that exists for women in businesses, women in businesses in the world. With that simply telling us that for women, in the world globally, if they need money to access, they need to access finance to truly scale their businesses, or truly even capital to grow, to run their businesses. You know, the world is reporting that $300 billion is what is the gap that exists between the male and the female gender.
$300 billion.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, so I don't think that the solutions that has been put on the table is still meeting the adequate needs. It's doing something, but much more can be done, right? Which is one of the reasons why the 360 Women Africa Enterprise Fund was bettered, which is to, you know, help close the gap that exists with funding, capital raising for women in business. Beyond the funding, it's a merged solution where we give grants and also provide capacity development for women so that these businesses can then become sustainable, right? So yeah,
so
when all of that
Women is giving money to women-led businesses.
Yes, 360 Women Africa has an initiative that we run. We are currently in the third cycle, the 360 Women Enterprise Fund, where we give women in business grants, right, to support.
Grants.
Yes.
So they don't pay back.
No, it's grants, supported by our sponsors and our partners. This year we gave out 10 million naira in grant just last weekend to 4 women in business to support the businesses that they do. But beyond that, they also go through the financial literacy trainings, you know, they also go through the mini business classes to ensure that they have the adequate knowledge, you know, to thrive whilst we give them the support.
So we're not just giving you fish.
Yes,
but we're teaching you how to fish with
yes.
the fish.
And then give them access to market
the
also.
tools you're giving.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So what are you seeing for 2026 for women-led businesses? We know there's a new tax regime coming up. Are you women scared?
Are we women scared?
Yeah, for 2026.
I mean, there's no need to be scared. We just need to understand what it is and ensure we align. There's no need to be scared. It's the policy in the country we live in. We must be very law-abiding. If the government has said that this is what it is, the conversation is about if it favors the business owners. That's a different conversation. But are we scared? No, we are not scared. Are we happy about some of these things? It's quite pressurizing. It puts a lot of pressure when a business is trying to survive, and then we're having to have all of this added, you know, growing concerns. I mean, it puts added pressure to what's currently going on, and the current need for people to truly find ways to strategize and make sure that their businesses don't die.
I guess we all have to brace for 2026.
What is coming up, yes.
Fantastic. Thank you. It was great having this conversation with you.
Thank you.
Dr. Yvonne Ofodiles is the MD/CEO, Zenith Oil and Gas Limited. Thanks so much for coming on today.
Thank you very much, Ladi.
All right. We're going to join a live coverage right now. The African Public Square debate topic, are regional organizations a necessity or for regional integration? That's for our DSTV viewers, but we're still here live. You can follow the money on all other platforms. We'll be back after this. All right, welcome back. Well, trust, transparency, and good governance, that remains the backbone of any thriving capital market. Yet in Nigeria, questions persist about how well these pillars are being upheld, from the role of registrars and regulators to how listed firms are adapting to global governance and sustainability standards. Well, this morning we'll take a closer look at corporate governance, investor confidence, and the evolving ESG landscape in Nigeria's capital market, exploring what's working, what's not, and what must change to deepen market integrity. Join me now for this conversation. We have Dr. Kamal Okola as the first Vice President, Institute of Capital Market Registrars. That's ICMR. Great to have you on the show, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Ladi.
Fantastic. So, definitely, looking at Nigeria's equities market, it's been on a run. For this year now, so up about 50%. I guess it did touch 50%. That's the all-share index. I'm wondering how all of this, all what's playing out in the market, the bull run, how is it affecting participants like you? You guys that are at the back end there, working on this capital market.
I think the way our capital market is structured, and considering the economy, it's an integral part of the economy of the country. So we're working to get it right holistically. And I believe capital markets, if not responsible for almost 50% of the economy, it will be very close to that 50%. And what is important is this investors' confidence. So if you can guarantee investors' confidence, and the way we are doing it, the operator, the regulator, even the government, all hands are on deck. Because now we know where we are taking the country to. We are thinking of $1 trillion economy. So that means we need to get it right. The only option is to get it right. And everybody's hands is on the deck.
Fantastic. And, talking about everybody's hands, being on deck, when it's a bull market, I know you're part of the registrars, association. When is a bull market, does it get really busy for you guys, or it's just like every other, markets, sentiment? When it's bearish or bullish, is it the same thing? Yeah. Do you get more busy in a bull run?
No, we prepare. We prepare for this. It's our job. What we know how to do, we do it well. So we train our people, and I want to believe that what you do every time, you master it. You remove the bottleneck, and if you have a job to do, you have to do the job,
regardless of the season.
Exactly. You may when you have more to do, you may close late. You may deploy technology. You look at the effective software that will help you to do the job. Your technology is not taking anybody's job. It will only enhance you. It will make you to do it well. So I think with the way we are doing it, we registrar, we know that we are the silent backbone of the, when you talk of markets. So we are the silent backbone of the capital market. That is, you must ensure investors' confidence. And how will you do that? You need to maintain accurate record at all time. And our job is managing processing. So you onboard clients, you onboard investor, you manage the shares at in the secondary market, you manage the process of dividend payment, you ensure that stake of every investor is safe. So that is your job. And if you now have more to do, you need to just do the job. And that means you have more money to make. And if otherwise, what will you need to do? You also need to collaborate with other stakeholders. What are we doing? We want this market to grow. So,
I'm talking about growth. Are you seeing more new investors, coming in? Is there a trend we're seeing in 2025?
2025 is almost.
Yeah, it's almost rounding up. But have we seen some, like maybe a good influx of
because
new investors?
The only way you can be transparent is to be in the market, open market. And we are encouraging some of these investors, probably some private company, they are not compared to get listed on the floor of Nigeria Stock Exchange, but because they are private. So we're encouraging some of them that are having enough, I mentioned that $1 trillion that we are trying to...
Yeah, the target.
Exactly. So we're encouraging them that, okay, why can't you get listed? Even that's why you have the OTC platform. So it's okay, if you have enough, and it will give you more recognition to the global community. And what we hope for is to see more with the direction the economy is going. Because we have the president that I believe for the first time, either that is telling us that I do it the only way, and we need to get it right. And everybody is just joining hands to make sure that, okay, we get it right.
And make sure that this market stays transparent and,
exactly.
And you maintain trust, in this market. And I know the ICMR, definitely you guys are meeting up, very soon. I believe that's tomorrow. What can, participants expect, this time, and investors, from your association?
Okay, talking about the upcoming, our upcoming 14th conference.
Yes.
Yes, we're happy and excited to tell the public that we are having our conference tomorrow at Oriental Hotel. That's Victoria Island, Lekki Road.
So I'm guessing investors are going to be thronging that venue.
We're expecting them to come because we are the paymaster. And when you invest money, you expect returns. And this is the person who pay your money. So definitely there's no way you won't have interest in what they are doing. And now, we expect our own Alhaji Abdul Samad Rabiu, who is the CON and CFR, who is the founder of BOA, to chairman the occasion. And our conference will also feature the swearing-in ceremony of our president-elect, the person of Dr. Mrs. Kitri Nwosu.
So the president, the president-elect is a woman?
Yes, a woman. The woman is taking over this is not the first time. Our first president is, a woman.
Oh, okay.
So now we're having another woman coming. So after we've had two men. So, and then the meeting is going to be, the ceremony will be presided over by our president, outgoing president, Mr. Sheyi Owoturo, FCMR, who is currently the CEO of Correlation Registrar. And our own regulator, that's Dr. Agama, will be the guest.
It's going to be a packed. It's going to be a packed.
Yes, will be the guest of honor. Exactly.
Definitely.
And we have a lot of panelists. So from Mary Stem, FBN Quest.
Okay.
We have from CSCS. So it's not going to be only the ceremony of leadership transition.
Right.
So we are coming to we will collaborate, and we are going to talk about innovation and also.
And I know this November we're expecting the T+2 settlement system. So what should we expect from registrars in 2026? It seems it's going to be a very busy year.
Is it going to be a very busy year? Yes, we pray, because if we are busy, we are happy. That is the truth. But T+2, we are moving from T+3 to T+2. We are ready because we are just among the ecosystem. It will come from NGX to CSCS. CSCS will send the details to the registrar to make sure that we are able to update the investor's record. Whatever we receive from CSS is what we use to update our record. So if you don't have any problem getting the information from CSCS, so we shouldn't have any excuse. We are ready. So it's not going to change anything. T+3, upon settlement, the data advised to the registrar to update the record. Now, T+2, upon settlement, we will receive the same data. So what are we waiting for? It's just to use it to update our record. So I think...
So it seems it's quite straightforward. And I'm wondering why we've not done it before now, since before now. That's transition to T+2.
I think the best time is now. The best time, because we've been talking about it over a year, meeting upon meeting, Change is not easy. So we talk about, but we all agree now that this is what we want to do. And we're not going to stay at T+2. We're in a maybe very soon, in a short term, we want to move to T+1.
So that's transaction dates, and you get settlement
The following day. Exactly. And even ultimate date is T+0, which is very possible. You do your transaction today,
and you get value
immediately. So I think it's not a big problem. It's not a big problem.
And
if we all agree that this is what we want to do, we can make it work.
All right. So, definitely, I guess investors have a lot to, look out for in 2026, seeing that T+2, that's coming this month. At some point, T+1, then T+0 at some point. Thank you so much. We'll definitely be looking forward to all of that. Thank you. It was great having you on the show today.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Kamal Okola, you want to say?
Yes, we're also expecting you.
Oh, yes.
To attend the conference.
I would do my best, even though I know I'll be working, but I would try my best.
Please try. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming on today. The first Vice President, ICMR.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take another quick break now. When we come back, more on Business Morning. That's in a moment. Just stay with us. And as Nigeria prepares for the implementation of the new tax laws in January, the haulage industry has chosen to celebrate their 10th anniversary by discussing possible impact of the new law on their operations. The chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, was there and was a guest right here in Lagos. Take a listen.
Haulage and Logistics Magazine Annual Conference and Exhibition. And here they're discussing tax reforms from policy to practice, challenges and opportunities for the Nigerian haulage industry. According to the organizers, this will give them the opportunity to translate Nigeria's new tax reforms into actionable benefits for the industry.
Now, a critical aspect of this reform is the elimination of several, taxes, multiple taxation, illegal levies, which continue to inflate the cost of transportation of goods in our country. If you look at the inflation figures critically, food inflation is a major driver of inflation in Nigeria. And if you look at food inflation, transportation is a major driver. And the reason why transportation is a major driver is the fact that a lot of taxes happen along the way, and there is need to address this. As we have this opportunity to be able to address this, we feel it is something we should do urgently before the year will come around when implementation will begin.
Inequality in that society is very small and people are happy.
At the helm of affairs of the tax reform is the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Mr. Taiwo Yedele, and is here to respond to their concerns.
We rank in the top 10 globally for the highest burden on businesses. Just imagine that. The same country where you need to generate employment. Why are you placing so much burden on businesses? We use very old laws that even when you want to pay the tax, you have to struggle to figure out what the tax law is saying because they were written in what I sometimes call King James Version. You know King James Version? We tax capital, we also tax investments. You want to start a business, government puts tax everywhere. You know, the session I had this morning was for SMEs and startups before coming here. And I said to them, anybody can carry out this social experiment. Just find money to do a banner that shows you want to start any business, or you can be tailoring, anything that comes to your mind. Go and put it by the roadside. Find a seat and go and sit back and watch what will happen. Within a few days, different regulators, tax officers from government will show up. They will ask you about business permits. Have you obtained permits? They will say, this thing that you write, that's an advert. Have you paid advert? You know, they bring tape, they even measure it. If God help you, go and put picture inside that the money is more when there's picture inside. Another person will come and say, you have not paid local government sanitation. You don't even have waste yet because you have not found customers. Now, nobody is even asking you, do you have any customer yet? Everybody wants to collect tax from you. You can't grow like that. Those kind of taxes and levies are the ones that Mr. President called seed. Nigeria is taxing seed. When you tax seed, you undermine the ability to create fruits tomorrow. And it's not good for anyone. It's not good for the individual. It's not good for society. It is not good for government. So the reform set up by Mr. President, for which I have the privilege and the opportunity to lead a team of more than 100 patriotic, eminent, well-qualified from all walks of life of Nigerians to lead, was designed to solve these problems. So
the annual event has the aim of providing a platform for advocacy and addressing pressing issues affecting the growth and development of the haulage and logistics industry.
And now we're joined by engineer Debo Nifade, the founder of HR Pay Hub and CEO of Delon Apps. He's an author, technologist, and public policy commentator with deep insight into how technology and innovation can drive economic transformation and job creation in Nigeria. We'll be exploring how businesses, government, and the tech ecosystem can collaborate to tackle unemployment and prepare the workforce for the future. Great to have you on the show, sir. Good morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
Fantastic. So I was thinking to myself yesterday, I was like, okay, fine, this unemployment issue seems to be something African countries, have to deal with. Same thing in South Africa, Egypt, Nigeria, top economies in Africa. It hit me, does being an import-dependent country translate to unemployment? Is that our biggest issue here?
No, I think the biggest issue is we are not focusing on the right strategy. A country like Nigeria would grow by developing its informal sector. Even the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, I don't trust their numbers all the time, acknowledges that growth has come more from informal sector in the last, in this year. You look at how China grew, the informal sector, we can say low skill, medium level skill, as well as high skill. You have to grow jobs within the low skill sector. Government continues to talk about, we need to do AI, we need to do technology. I'm an engineer, and I like to hear that. But that's not how we're going to grow jobs in Nigeria. We need to, how many times have you heard governors say, hey, we need to train artisans. We need to train those, let me talk about artisans. Two things I always talk about. One, they need to get better at their jobs. Why should we be? I'm sure you're aware that Togolese tilers are coming to Nigeria now.
Right.
You must be aware that now people patronize Togolese mechanics, mechanics. We need to train the informal sector first to be better at their jobs, because as they do better at their jobs, the jobs will grow. Second is we also have to train them on how to manage their business. You see a barber today open his shop, 2 years he's closed. A guy, an auto mechanic, 3 years he's gone to start riding Okada. That sector is very critical. Now, people talk about agri, but beyond agri, that sector is very important. Outside Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, I think more than 80-90% of Nigerians are low-skilled or mid-level skilled people. If you focus too much on that formal sector, America is the only country that right now has by far a very small formal sector. China today, I'll tell you that the blue-collar jobs, salaries have grown by over 100% in the last 12 years in China. In the white-collar sector, salaries have grown by just 25%. So you have white-collar guys, college graduates, now looking for blue-collar jobs because of growth in the blue-collar sector. Of course, in the last 20-25 years, China grew more in the white-collar jobs, But before then, in the 70s, everything related to China growth, especially jobs, was about low skill. So that's the path we are, and we need to invest into that sector. We're not investing into that sector. Governments are not doing anything. Federal government is not doing much.
But we do see some subnationals there. We're talking about skills acquisitions projects and all of that. Teaching some of these out of so people that are maybe not in school or planning to go to school, and they set up this beautiful skills acquisition projects for them.
So
I've
heard some good things from the Minister of Education in recent times in terms of just the usual talks. But generally, how do you train people in that sector? For example, if you train a tiler to do better, if you train, now you have more companies manufacturing cars in Nigeria, and you hear people say, I don't want to buy that car because I'm going to struggle with maintenance.
So second-hand value.
A second-hand value. But then, why would people say I'm struggling with maintenance? Because we don't have enough people to even repair the cars. So generally, and I'm saying things like, even things like barber, I'm sure you probably, in your area, you can't cut everywhere. You say, maybe you have 5 people around, you say only these 2 guys can cut well. Same as auto mechanics. People are saying, maybe 20% of them can do well. We need to invest a lot, because when auto mechanics do better, our cars will last longer. A lot of things will improve. People will not break down on cars will not break down.
Especially when your car has AC issues. Most of the time it's hard to find a good AC tech.
Exactly, and that's not supposed to be complex. So, and then the business side, like I also mentioned, it's not just about the skills. You also want their business to survive. Teaching them basic. I said in time past that, I would volunteer to do free training. If a subnational says, okay, I'm assembling 1,000, trade guys, and I want trainers to come and guide them on simple P&L, how to manage your business, so that the businesses survive. In America, you have 3rd generation, 4th generation auto mechanics. You have 4th generation, blue collar guys, and I think that sector, same as agri. You people talk only about agri, or people are not familiar. And I say things like, what are you doing to develop the villages to encourage people to stay back? Now, you're pumping more into agriculture, but the younger guys are leaving the villages. They're coming to the cities. How do you keep them to stay back? There's no power there, no electricity, and you have many governors just building flyovers, just spending a lot on the urban centers, very little on the rural area. People want to watch DSTV also in rural areas. People want to enjoy good healthcare. People want to enjoy good education. If you put in those facilities there, some younger people will stay back. Now, some people will still live for the city, but go to China, go to Philippines, go to America. Let me talk about Southeast Asia. The cities, the developments are not happening only in the big cities. You just hear of some unpopular cities you've never heard of, and they're manufacturing a lot. because government has put in infrastructure in those areas. So it's not just pumping money into, we're giving them fertilizers, but how do we encourage young people to stay there so they can do farming? And if you don't grow that sector, that informal sector, that agri sector, you're focusing too much on tech. I think we're not America. We can only compare ourselves with Korea maybe 40 years ago, compare ourselves with China maybe 40, 50 years ago, compare ourselves with India. They have gone past us. But we can only compare ourselves with those countries, decades ago. But to think that we're going to be America, we want to,
compete in the tech space, at some point. But we'll start somewhere.
Yeah, again, I'm in that space.
Right.
So I'm just being objective. I'm in that space, but I don't like fool myself. We need to develop that space.
Right.
I'm there.
Let's be realistic, but let's start something.
Yeah,
at some point. Yeah. Thank you. It was great having this conversation with you. We've run out of time. Debo Onifade is the founder of HR Pay Hub. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed my time with you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for watching Business Morning. The markets are on right now, right there, the local bourse. It's still trying to get direction. We'll see if we get a green close for the TGIF trade today. The final trading week of October. I guess right now, investors are looking to November. Maybe it'll be a November to remember. Well, thank you so much for watching Business Morning, and keep it here so you know where to stash money. I'm Ladi Williams. From me and the team right here at Channel HQ. It's bye for now.